Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from here.
Together, we are.
I had to spend $30 this month to renew mywieneryourmouth.com and mywieneryourmouth.com.
Your whiner.
I before E and E before I.
You know, I had my... Actually, your mom had her PayPal charge card stolen. And so she shut down both of our PayPal charge cards. They're debit cards that spend money right out of PayPal like it's nothing. And what we failed to realize the significance of that is everything that is remotely business related is connected to that.
That's the worst.
And so we actually lost one URL, but that fell into a grace period.
Oh,
I'm
so you had to pay
thankful.
Like double.
No, I didn't.
To get it back,
but I'm so thankful I paid attention to the email that I had ignored.
Yes, I get so many of those.
Yeah, me too.
Well, yeah, and so one of them would have expired tomorrow. We did that one time for Markwood's Breakfast Club. I think I had to pay like 2 or 3 times as much.
And
I thought it was set to auto renew.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
I've lost a couple really good URLs, good ones.
And anyone who has dealt with
one that was worth a lot of money.
Anyone who has dealt with GoDaddy or web hosts or domain name registrars long enough knows that what happens when you lose one is immediately they hold on to it and they hold it for auction.
Yeah,
or
as
it
if
doesn't
someone's
matter who
already bought
wants it. It doesn't matter. They're going to hold on to it and charge you a premium if you want it back.
Because it clearly has value. You bought it once.
Right.
We're smoking something today that we've not opened. It's Sutliff. I have no idea what that is. What is it?
That's a face of a man.
What is it? What does it say?
Yeah. A blend worthy of the god of wine. That's Bacchanalia.
Bacchanalia.
Bacchanalia. There are 2 C's. That's what's really throwing me off. Bacalaka high. Bacalaka high.
I don't know if that means it's going to be whiny.
A blend worthy of the god of wine. Probably it's going to be like grape flavored.
I'm going to smoke my Cobb cigar. It's been a while since I've smoked my Cobb cigar.
Briar cigar.
Oh, copycat, eh?
I don't know where my Cobb cigar is.
Okay.
Also, I chose mine first, so...
All right. This is exciting. Don't know what it is. Is it whiny?
It is grape.
Grape? Is it like grape Captain Black? No. It smells like lacquer thinner.
It's a grapish...
Lacquer thinner.
Thinner of lacquer.
All right. I'm gonna pack this. I'm gonna. So, interesting thing I wanted to talk with you about.
Is it though?
Today.
We'll find out together.
To me and my grandson.
All right.
It is interesting. First off, I have to tell you that my oldest grandson, Smuckers, as I call him, who is not quite 8, he's my buddy, and as all of my grandkids are. But there's just something unique about him. He has similar tastes as me, or he has chosen to show interest.
You have imprinted your tastes on him.
He has chosen to show interest in things that I find interesting, but his memory is amazing. And I'll stop talking about Smuckers here in just a second. But for example, we've watched recently a bunch of videos on YouTube that I watched as a kid. He asked me one day, what Saturday morning shows, or what cartoons did you watch as a kid? And I had to explain that cartoons weren't on every day. We didn't have the Cartoon Network, and it was basically Saturday morning. And yeah, I went down the list of what my favorite cartoons were and favorite shows.
The Jetsons?
Yes, it's in there. Popeye's always been my favorite. Always. Really? Oh, yeah.
You
absolutely.
Just like Wimpy.
No, that's not it at all. That's not it.
You like the economics of paying Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Well,
admit it.
That's true. Hold on as I light this.
Yeah, I remember I walked into the house not long ago and was just shocked because they were playing Popeye. It was one where he is, I think it's either Arabian Nights or, what's the other one? Where Sinbad was Sinbad.
Sinbad the Sailor.
Right. with the
Who's the most remarkable?
That's
extra
right.
Special kind of fella.
with the giant bird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of two VHS tapes that my grandma had at her house that I could watch when I woke up before them, and so I watched those over and over and over and over and over again.
That's the one that has a double-headed monster.
Yes,
And
but it also had the Arabian Nights one on there as well. I think it had Betty Boop too. It was that and Sound of Music.
okay.
Watched this so many times.
Anyway, so we kind of went down this rabbit hole of looking at some of these old videos, many of which are on YouTube in one form or another. And we got to talking about some shows like the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle show. Now, you had to have been born in a really small window to have seen and enjoyed the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle show. If I recall the storyline correctly, the three brothers who are the Hudson brothers were on the Sonny and Cher show the last season that Sonny and Cher were on the air. They had divorced and they were trying to get along for the TV show, and eventually they just gave it up. And the network who owned the show, who had all of the employees under contract, decided to take this act that had been on the Sonny and Cher show successfully and give them their own show. So they had their own once-a-week variety show in the evening, and then the next year they moved it to Saturday morning. And it became a show where it highlighted some of their musical talents and then had these comedians that would perform every single week, basically doing the exact same routine week after week. It was very vaudevillian. Mm-hmm. And the Hudson Brothers were a musical act that they never quite found their place, because anybody who was cool was in rock music, and the Hudson Brothers were too poppy. And yet the Hudson Brothers were in their mid to late 20s, so they weren't the Osmond Brothers, they weren't the Jackson 5, and so they weren't quite young enough and cool enough to be attractive to the 13-year-old girls. And so they fell into this little mosh pit where they didn't fit. And they were under contract to the Playboy record label. And whenever they would come out with an album, Playboy would choose as a cover a picture of these three guys dressed in suits. So they looked like they were doing like a Frank Sinatra lounge performance, and that's not at all what their sound was like. So they didn't have great success. They had one song that you could kind of call a hit. It was like in the top 20 on the charts. A little bit more about the Hudson brothers themselves. Bill Hudson was married to Goldie Hawn, the actress. Bill's daughter is Kate Hudson, the actress. Mark Hudson was, I think, really the musical genius of the group, and Mark is a successful disc jockey and record producer. He produced records for Ringo Starr and several others. He co-wrote the song Living on the Edge by Aerosmith. You know that song? Living on the Edge. Pretty much it. You repeat that several times. Something wrong in the world today. I don't know what it is.
The one from Armageddon.
Close. So, anyway, Smuckers now has seen all the clips on YouTube and knows the Hudson brothers. He wants to see the Hudson Brother Razzle Dazzle show, so I jump on Amazon, and 2 days later we have the 3 DVD set that was the entire series. Turns out the entire series was one season. They played it over and over again for like a season and a half. And what shocked me is a day or two later, he's walking around the house singing word for word the theme song. Singing word for word another song that they do on the show. It's like, how in the world does he know that? I remember the theme song, but I watched it for probably 2 years every Saturday. Oh, that's why. Mm-hmm. He has watched this 13 episodes 4 times over.
More times than you did.
In 2 days.
More times than you did in the 2 years it was on air.
In the 2 years, yeah. Yeah, so that to me was kind of shocking, the speed at which information can get consumed, can be accessed and then consumed. But also, the kid's got an amazing memory. Tonight, we're sitting at the house, and I'm showing my son-in-law a Monkees album that I didn't even know existed. It came out in 2016, and it came out after Davy Jones died. And they took one song that Davy had recorded back in the 60s that never made it on an album, and they re-engineered it and added their voices and a few other instrumentation bits to it. And the rest of the album was all completely new content. I didn't know that album existed until this week, and I come to find out that one of the big reviewers on Rolling Stone named it one of his top 10 albums for 2016.
Wow.
So I have since gone on YouTube, watched all the videos, and I'm going to link the song "She Makes Me Smile." Very, very clever official video. They took one of the old comic books that they did from the Monkees and added text as if the characters are singing along to the song. It sounds like a Monkee song. It is good. It just was shocking to me, though, as a fan who grew up watching the Monkees and would have been happy to buy this record when it came out, and didn't even hear about it.
You know you still could do that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I jumped on Amazon to see what the cost is, and I'm just going to decide whether I want to just buy the digital download, or do I want to buy the vinyl, or do I want to buy the CD. But yeah, the name of the album is Good Time! Exclamation point. Maybe it's Good Times. Could be plural. But She Makes Me Smile. Good song. Go check it out.
He plays it for me and says, "Yeah, this sounds just like the Wonders, that thing you do." I said, "Yeah, who sound like the Monkees." There's good reason for that.
Sounds just like the Oneaters.
That's right.
I don't know. I mean, it's at my age, trying to recoup and introduce, just like when you have your own children and you want your kids to enjoy the things you enjoyed as a kid. You know, I used to love this toy. You'd love this toy. Well, no, they don't. Kids today, they're more sophisticated and they bore quicker. And so, you know, some of the things that used to entertain us hours on end, they grow tired of very quickly. And I think, how was this entertaining to me? Because it's the only thing we got.
Right.
It's the only thing. Oh my gosh, the game Operation, what a stupid game. And we played that thing until the batteries wore out. Of course, batteries back then weren't so good either. So.
Were really expensive when you bought them from that one shop.
They were. I don't know, how about you? I mean, have you introduced anything to your boys that you thought was, you know, really interesting as a child, but now doesn't hold up? Or on the other hand, anything that they're as excited about as you were?
I am sure that I have. So, you know, my son, Ender, my 4-year-old, is he gets interested in the same things that I am for similar reasons. You know, he's around me and he's becoming a mini me, and so
He's a smart kid.
Yeah, so he knows the characters of and the music from and all of these stats about Star Wars, having never seen anything Star Wars ever. We're not letting him watch the movies for another few years because we want him to actually understand what he's seeing the first time he sees it. You know, but he knows Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, and he whistles the theme song and all this stuff. So yeah, he loves that. Some old cartoons and things that we can find on Netflix, we'll introduce him to, because so much of the new stuff is just terrible, and for parents and for kids too. You know, a lot of the things. This is a bit tangential, but a lot of the new kids shows are very. The children in them are very disrespectful to the parents, in particular to the dads or the father figure in the show. The dad's always an idiot, and there's always just a lot of disrespect, and so that's something that we've become aware of in choosing what he's allowed to watch and not allowed to watch.
We ran into that when you were young. It was Bart Simpson was introduced, and you know, we used to sit Seth down, and there were a few episodes I would allow him to watch. but we would always talk about the reason why this is funny is because no child would ever do this. Any child that would say that, his dad would kill him.
Mm-hmm. Hence the choking.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and you know there are times that like we're watching Fuller House, the reboot of Full House on Netflix, and you know some of the kids are saying some things, they're being mean to each other, and we'll tell Ender, you know, hey, look, this they're being mean. This is not something that you should do. They're being mean so that they can learn how to be nice. But I don't want to hear you say those things. You don't talk like that to your brother or to your sister, to your mom or your dad.
Or Aunt Stephanie.
That's right. And so, you know,
I'm assuming there's an Aunt Stephanie.
There is.
Is there an Aunt Michelle?
No.
What happened to Michelle?
She's dead.
Good plan.
Yeah. No, they like to do little callbacks and mention her and then stare at the camera. It's kind of awkward. Like, maybe she'll join us next year for Thanksgiving. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. The show in general is actually surprisingly good, but
it's no Girl Meets World though.
Which was canceled.
I've never seen Girl Meets World. So
no. I mean, Fred Savage, or is that Ben Savage? I can never remember which of the Savage brothers it is.
Fred Savage would have been.
Fred Savage is the older one.
Yeah.
Right. He's the Wonder Years.
Wonder Years.
And Princess Bride.
Yes.
Ben Savage is Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World. Anyway, I can't think of any toys necessarily. I mean, a lot of the things that so the thing that we have done that most with are probably stories, books, things from our childhood. So, you know, one of Ender's favorite stories, because it was one of my favorite stories, is Mickey Meets the Giant. And that's one that I've read to him over and over and over again, and that's one I remember Mom reading to me over and over and over again. So, you know, we have exposed him to that, certainly. Music as well, you know, because he listens to what we listen to, and what we listen to is what we liked when we were in college, in high school, so that doesn't change much.
That's funny.
Which is why you're making Smuckers listen to the Monkees, I imagine.
Yeah, actually, that was the music I listened to at his age.
Yeah.
You know, I was. Let's see. You know, I was even younger. So by the time I was 7, they were done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were done. No, but my tastes have always run a bit older. I've always liked music of the 50s and 60s, and I like music that's how do I say, it's melodic. You know, it's like we were talking a while back about Lady Gaga. That's why I appreciate her, is that she's an actual musician that could reproduce her sound, like the Monkees. You know how they were a real band,
right?
And and the Brady, the silver platters. I was a huge fan of the silver platters.
It's time to change. It's time to rearrange.
Got to keep on dancing all through the night.
Yeah. See, for my generation, it was Zack Attack, the Zach Morris, and
was that the high school Saved by the Bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Did you watch the college years?
I did, and I watched Saved by the Bell, the new class, when it was only Principal Belding and Screech with a bunch of new students.
But with a new Screech whose name was Skunk, or...
No, it was Screech.
No, but they had a younger guy whose name was Badger, or... No, Badger would have been...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Breaking Bad. There was a kid, the actor who was on that show, who didn't replace Screech, but played the Screech-like character.
Of the high school age.
His name was
Weasel.
Okay,
Weasel. I don't remember that.
He is now a blind actor. He went blind.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. It's a good story.
The more you know. So, what'd you think of that? Tobacco, that is.
It was good. It was good. I'm getting a little bit of raw tongue.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, we're shooting a few episodes tonight, and so I'm just
getting a little,
I'm
hurting. Little fatigued.
Hurting a little bit, yeah. But you know, it was fine. It was good.
All right. Yeah, I can say I've smoked it. Anyway, how about you? I mean, what's your throwback? What's the stuff that when you think about maybe a guilty pleasure that you would watch. The stuff that you watch on YouTube but you hide from anybody. Who is that?
I have something else. I recently built a Raspberry Pi with the RetroPie Arcade, which is a arcade box that lets you play old school arcade games and Nintendo games, and I got Ender playing some old school NES games on it. I'm pretty proud.
Any old school NES. Any clever Activision games?
I have some of those. I also have some Atari as well.
Nice.
Yeah, he's playing a Mickey Mouse letter game and number game. He loved.
Very
He's
good.
doing a great job too. Anyway,
All right.
that's it.
Make it a great week. See you again next week.
See ya.